So we're back at it here, going to start a new project, and that new project is going to be the fw190A8 by Tamiya. And I've already done a box opening review on this, but this is kit 95 or 61095, either one. There's a couple different numbers on here, and I've looked them up on using either one of those numbers without any problems. So anyways, this is what we're going to work on. And I delayed on this a little bit because I got out the instructions and was looking at the cockpit, and it's pretty decent. I'm not going to complain. There's not a lot of components to this. The kit it's a good kit. It's a Tamiya kit, but there's not a lot of components to this interior, and that's fine. It doesn't necessarily need to be, but let's see if we can dress it up a little bit. So I delayed so I could get this. This is the Eduard cockpit kit, and for this particular Focke-Wulf kit, the Eduard part number is FE348, and it states right on here it's for Tamiya 61095, the 190A8. So this is what I already cut this open here, but so we got this sheet of PE. Looks really good. There's multiple layers. So you got this layer with the gauges, and then you got these layers that go over top of the gauges, so you have more of a 3D effect. And then what is this? I thought this was, oh, it is a sheet of acetate. Those look like rudder pedals though. Why would there be acetate rudder pedals? Let's see. Let's find out. Can't get the instructions out. There we go. Okay. I like that Eduard, it's necessary, but Eduard puts this little piece of cardboard in here, and it's a great backing so the PE doesn't get bent. Without it, it'd probably be a mangled mess. Okay, so let's see what we see here. Looks pretty straightforward. We got to shave off some stuff, of course. I don't see that acetate sheet here. It mentions it up here in the parts. But I don't see anywhere where that would get used. Okay, so when I run into this, basically I just start building, and then along the way things sometimes just become evident, and then, feel like a fool because it was so easy. So yeah, because here's rudder pedals. What the heck is that for? Okay, well, we'll figure it out along the way. So we're gonna get going on that. We'll start a time lapse here for this, and let's see if we can get a cockpit built. We might have to do some paint mixing. I don't want to put it this way. We might have to do some paint mixing, but I think I have the proper interior colors. I just got to look them up. So let's get at it right now. Okay, so I have. I was going to start into a time lapse here, but I wanted to point out that when you're doing this PE kits, like there's a couple points that have to be shaved off in order for the replacement panels to be installed. So in this case, on part D18. D18 right here. Okay, so let's get this off our tree. And I'm guessing we're going to have to do the same thing with the dash as well. Okay, so D18. It doesn't look like there's a lot here that needs to be removed. Okay, so all of this raised stuff needs cut off. And now, mind you, if you don't want to do the PE kit and just paint this stuff, it'll look pretty good. Little dry brushing, a little bit of color. And you can make that look pretty good. The detail actually, it's small, but there's plenty there to be workable. So basically all I'm going to do, I'm not going to even attempt to like shave this down like off the red spots. These red spots that they show here, those need to be cut down. But I'm just going to run my knife over the whole surface because the whole thing is getting covered anyway. So you don't have to really be careful about hitting anything else. As a matter of fact, a sanding block would probably work just fine here too. I think here's a sanding stick. So we could just take this. I got the bulk off, but let's just smooth it down so we have a good surface for that PE to glue to. Okay. And just like that, that piece is prepped. So now let's go ahead, this little wooden block here I use, and a utility knife. And now this panel, the PE panel we're looking at, is labeled 1. So that's this one here. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and install this. Okay. And for this stuff, just use some CA. And, you know, you can buy CA cheaper than, you know, by the ounce. You can buy larger quantities of it. However, I find these little bottles I get from Dollar Tree specifically. The tubes, the little metal tubes, always dry up, and I cannot get glue out of them every single time. In the big bottles, like the 2 ounce or even the 1 ounce bottles of CA glue, inevitably always end up going bad. So I buy these from Dollar Tree. These little bottles seem to hold up the best from what I have found. And I don't end up throwing stuff away because it's no good. So we're just going to take a little bit of CA and dab it on there. That's way too much. That is way too much. I got a toothpick here. Let's see. We're just going to have to dab some of that off there. Yeah, that came out pretty fast. I did not expect that. Alright, so there's an even coat of CA, and then we're just going to take this panel and stick it on here. And they're notched. The notches line up perfectly between the PE and the notches in the kit provided panel. So that one is done and ready to be installed in the cockpit. So we got one more here. This is part part D2. And we're going to do the exact same thing with this one. This one I think I'll just go to the sanding block. There's hardly nothing to take off of this one. So we'll just get the sanding stick here and go for it. A little bit hard to hold. There. That didn't take much. It's already smoothed down. Smoothed down enough. Okay, so same thing here. We want this panel this time. Eduard makes really good stuff. It's a Czechoslovakian company, and it's really good. I have heard issues about people wanting to get like replacement parts or something for kits, and it's become very difficult because of importing, and so I think I saw, and do not hold me to this, but I think I saw that you cannot get replacement parts for their kits anymore simply because of the importing and the tariffs and whatnot. So they basically just said, well, I guess we're not doing that anymore, which is too bad. It's really too bad, because as a modeler we pay the price for it. You get a kit and something is missing out of it or something, and you try to get a hold of the company, and they can't help you. So that's too bad. But we keep kicking. I still buy their kits because they're great. They're really, really good kits. These guys make some nice stuff. Okay. This is the cockpit tub. So we're just going to get this ready here. That has to be painted yet before I do anything. So, okay, I think that it looks like that's it as far as what we have to modify. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to jump to that time lapse now. We'll get some painting done and start assembling this cockpit. So hang on tight, the fun's a-coming. So at this point during the construction, you can see that dash that used to be one piece, I have now broken into two pieces, and that was a mistake. It is meant to be installed in one piece, and it does not go over the original plastic dash provided by the kit. That plastic dash is not used at all. The PE kit dash replaces everything, and I did not realize that. And I was trying to make it fit on that plastic dash, which is why I separated those two sections. I ended up repairing those two sections just using a piece of styrene to attach them back together the way they should be.
So during the probe process here, at this point, I am working on the foot pedals. And these PE foot pedals were a real pain to make. There's these little straps and stuff, and it had to be bent and, you know, like curved, a smooth curvature, like where the straps are at. And I went to extraordinary measures to try to make those right. And then I set them aside and I glued that cockpit in without installing those foot pedals into the tub. I don't know if I can get them in there at this point. I tried gently prying the tub to see if it would let go and come out at the fuselage, and it won't. So I'm hoping maybe I can get it in there. If not, it'll be what it is. It won't be very visible anyway. Okay, so what we're doing here is assembling the seat belts, the PE seat belts, and you gotta glue the buckles onto the straps and whatnot here. Not difficult. You gotta limit the amount of CA glue you're using, or they tend to want to like float around and not stay where you put them. So you gotta go with a really thin coat to get them on there. Let them set until they're dry. They will have a tendency to pop apart when you're gluing PE together. You know, if you have to bend or flex or whatever, make sure you're supporting the joint with a pair of pliers or tweezers or something. If you just try to bend it, chances are they're just going to come apart. And here we're getting the seat belts attached to the seat, and you know, again, not difficult. They do have to be bent to conform to the shape of the seat, and to get them to lay right. There's no real rhyme or reason where they're laying on the seat. You know, they're seat belts, so a pilot gets out, they unbuckle them, and they get out, and the seats belts fall where they fall. So you know, wherever you get them, you know, no one can say it's wrong. And these are all attached using CA, of course. Yeah. And fuselage halves. Working on getting the fuselage halves assembled. And in order to install the PE kit, the part of the dash, top part of the dash that covers the gauges needs to be cut off and removed, because that's completely replaced with a piece of PE. So you have to remove all of that. But not a big deal. Nice sharp X-Acto makes short work of that. The fuselage halves glued together really nice. No issues with seams here at all. It's pretty clean. There are very, very few locating pegs. There's only 3 maybe. So it wasn't hard getting it to line up, but once you got it lined up, just get it glued. Makes things a little bit easier, because it does kind of like want to slip out of position. So. And here, just finalizing that seat assembly with the seat belts, getting that glued into the cockpit tub, and grabbing a few parts off the tree here, getting the fuselage halves ready to go, and I'm going to dry fit that cockpit tub and go ahead and glue it in. Gee, didn't pay attention. I did not install those rudder pedals. Okay, here's a couple photos of the completed cockpit. You can see I don't have that upper part of the dash installed yet at this point. You can just see it's been cut off. Needed to do a little bit more trimming here when I went to install it. But if you like these videos, please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and don't forget to click that like button, and please keep your fingers out of the glue.